Welcome back. So today we are going to learn two important concepts in our Java programming, that is syntax and the output. So like in the previous lecture we have written our first Java program, that is hello world, and we have written a main method and given a print statement over here, and mm, when running the program we have printed the output. So let's understand the line by line what this entire program means. So here we can see the first statement as package. So in Java, whenever we write any program, we write it under some package. So packaging is important to segregate the type or category of that particular class. So here like we are in our starting phase, so we have created a package called example and we are writing our programs there. Okay. So now let's understand the program. So every line of code that runs in Java, okay, so that must be inside the class. Okay, so the class name, as we discussed, is it should start in the uppercase letter. For example, our class name is Hello World, so it is starting with capital letter H. Okay, so Java is case sensitive actually. So capital H, Hello World, and for example, uh, small letter H, it is not the same thing. They will be treated as different. Okay, so the name of the Java file so must be starting with the class name. So here the class name is hello world, so my Java class name is also hello world. So we have to make sure that the class name and the Java file name both are same and are in same case. Okay, so now let's see what the main method is. Okay, so main method is actually required in each Java program. Okay, it is where our program starts running. So as we discussed, it is the starting point of our program. So we see here public static void main. Okay, so the three keywords for that are public static void. So we need not understand this in deeply as of now. We'll be learning that and this at the later point of our lecture. So let's focus on the main. So main method will be executed whenever we run our program. Main method will be executed. Okay, so whenever we run our main method, so the statements under the main method are executed and this are responsible for producing the output. For example, here inside main method we can see we have written the statement hello world. So its function is to just print out, to give an output as a hello world text. So that is what it is doing. Okay, so this is our basic syntax or the main method, you can tell. Okay, now let's learn about the statement, that is system.out.println. So in computer, like for every instruction or any statements which we want to execute in Java, we are writing it under statements under system.out.println. Okay, the important thing is it should end with a semicolon. Okay, and so if we don't end it with a semicolon, like it will give an error. For example, so here we can see that insert semicolon. Okay, so here we need to, it will give a compilation issue, so we need to give here a semicolon. Okay, so this is one thing. And the main method, and the main method, like it is whenever we create a main method, it is having a opening and a closing braces. So everything should be, every statement should be within that braces. So that's what like we have written our first statement. Okay, so now see about the output, like what the output is basically in Java. Okay, so while printing a text, so here output is nothing but like whenever we are printing some values. So here the output is my hello world. Okay, so in Java when we are printing any text, so we give it under double quotes. Okay, for any text we have to keep it under double quotes. And inside main method, here we have one statement. So similarly we can have multiple of statements, like system dot So this s out in IntelliJ, we have a shortcut for system.out.println. So if we click on that, you will be getting this value. So let's say write one statement, welcome to the Java programming language. Let's have another statement displaying as Java is awesome. Okay. So here three statements we have written in our program. So as I told, like we can have multiple statements in our Java program, like inside the main method. So here we are using system.out.println. So println means the every statement that we write will be printed in the next line. So how do we do that? So let's run this program and check it out. So here you see that the every statement which we have written is printing in the next line. Okay. So this is what println is doing. Okay. Let's say we remove ln here and just give a print. Okay. And try to run it. So in this scenario, we see that the output, basically the first statement, hello world, and the second statement, that is welcome to the Java programming language, both are in the same line. So and print will be generating your output in the same line with the other statement. So print ln will basically create a new line. So that's what the we are writing print ln so that we can get the statement in the next line. Okay. So whatever statement we are writing in for text, like we are giving it into double quotes. If you write it under, if we are doing any text values, and if we write, uh, if we don't give double quotes, then it will be giving us an error. Okay, like it will be treated as a variable, which we will be discussing later point. Okay, so here uh, for any statements we need to have a double quotes. So let's give it. So okay. So so what we understood. So like we have seen about print method. So let's give another method here. Which is, so we have looked into println method and print method. So both are eventually same. Only the differences, like println is will be produced in the next line. Okay. So now let's see if what if we want to print numbers. Okay. So for example, let's say we're trying to print so numbers. So in the above examples we saw like about the printing of the text. Now let's see how we print numbers in Java. So give a statement and write 33 and try to run it. So here you can see that if we are printing numbers, we don't need to give a double quotes. Okay, so we can directly specify the number in the println method, and it will be generating the output. Okay. So similarly let's give some other more statements, and try to run it. So we can see like for statements, when we are writing a plain text, we need to give it into, and we need to give it into double quotes. But when we are dealing with numbers, we can directly give the numbers, no need of double quotes. Okay. So this is what we have covered in this lecture about the syntax and the statements. So so the conclusion for this video is like the main method is the starting point of the program. So whatever it has a opening and closing braces, so whatever we write into the main method will be executed. So the class name and the file name should be same as that of should be same, and the capital class name should be starting with capital letter. Okay. And when we are for print.out.println statement, system.out.println statement. When we are dealing with plain text, we need to have double quotes. When we are dealing with numbers, no plain quotes are required. Directly numbers can be used. So this is all about this video. See you later. Thank you.